Blog number 12. I am Ronai with Anonymous Agency.
I'm Chynel with Chapter 28 and our special guest.
It's Ambrosia with Ambrosia Skincare Line.
Yes. Thank
Hello.
you, Ambrosha.
Thank you for having me, y'all. I'm so excited to be here with
Yes.
y'all.
Yes.
Perfect.
So I wanted to go ahead and just tell our viewers like this is about to be a very lit conversation, and you should probably get your notepad and your pen. Um,
For real.
well, Broja has a lot of information that you're going to want to jot down and just be able to refer to in this time of COVID-19. Um, Renee, did you want to say anything before we get started?
No, just kind of bouncing right off of that. A lot of good information, as always. Definitely useful if you haven't learned by now. Get your pen and paper ready because you never know what gems we're going to be dropping. So, yeah, and moving forward.
So, Broja, you have a skincare line that you're launching called Ambrosia, and I'm super hyped
Yes.
about it. We're both super hyped about it. Could you just touch a little bit on your mission, and why it needs to get out to people?
Okay, yeah, of course. So went to herbalist school. I'm in herbalist school, which is a never ending journey. But like, I really have a passion for people and people being their healthiest self. So that's really where it came from. I noticed there was a need, people really wanting to be their best, look their best, but I felt like they were going at it in the wrong way, using all these products that were really promising these results, but doing the opposite with it being filled with toxins and stuff. So I decided to do some educating myself and like, where does it really come from to have bright skin, to have long hair? Like, what did you really need to do to be able to get those things? So that's where my journey started. About my skincare line, it is Ambrosia, which was, I don't know, I think like it came full circle. Like, I used to hate my name, but once I learned what it stood for, which is food for the gods, I was like, oh my God, that's right. I am food for the gods. I am going to feed the higher you in every aspect. Every time that I talk or meet with one person, 10,000 people, I only want to be talking to the higher self, you, the best you, and feeding that. So it all came full circle.
I love that. I actually love that a lot. Dope, actually. I think it's cool that you were able to look up your name. And I feel like that kind of set the standard for you kind of moving forward in that direction. Is that correct? Like once you learned that that's what it meant for the gods, it was kind of like, yo, this is it. This is what we're about to do.
Yes, because I think that my spiritual journey played such a huge part in me wanting to be an herbalist and like to I know I'm a God, I know that God is within me and my higher self, I can make anything possible. So me knowing that about myself, yes, I want everyone that I come in contact with to know that about them too. So we are gods, and that's the way we need to treat ourselves and our environment. So yeah.
All right.
But like my
I love
mission
that.
statement, I wanted to share with you guys because I just feel like
Yeah.
it really gives a deeper understanding of where this skin line is going. So I want to share that with y'all real quick, okay? Okay,
Yeah.
so my mission statement, Ambrosia came into fruition by the desire to want to heal the skin from within in a safe, effective way that people of all ages can benefit from. Ambrosia means food for the gods, which is why we provide our customers with top quality herbal products that are fit for a god. We believe that every person should love the divine body that they are given. We hope to help people find that love through nourishing their body with ingredients that clear up symptoms and target the root causes of imbalances. In order to do this, we have created a line that supports the liver, which is the source of most skin related issues. We use adaptogenic and hepatic herbs to help support multiple systems within the body to result in clear, luminous skin from the inside out. So I felt that that was really important to share, even though it was lengthy, because, adaptogenic herbs, I think that I want you all to understand is tonic herbs. So with a lot of herbs, there's contraindication. So like you can't use two certain type of herbs because they will cause like an effect on a body that isn't good. But all the herbs that I'm using in my skincare line are tonic herbs. So there's no contraindications and they're nourishing the whole system of you with affinity for the liver, because that's where most of your ailments with beauty comes from. It's letting you know your liver cannot handle the toxins that your body are taking within.
I agree. Okay. I love that. I love that. And I think it's a great mission statement. Honestly, I think you kind of touch base on all of what it embodies. You know what I mean? You explain that, kind of where it came from, food for the gods. Like, you just have a lot of details without saying too much, and still keep people intrigued to the point where they're like, okay, well, I need to learn a little bit more about this. Like, what is going on? You're talking about in and out,
Heck
through and
yeah.
through, and you know what I mean? Right. Yeah.
And that's
That's dope.
key. And
Yeah.
that's key, ladies. I think with everything, we need to go within instead of looking without. We're so quick to have a problem and we look for the answers from without
Right.
ourselves instead of just going within. And all answers truly come within ourselves.
Yes. I love that. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, aside from, kind of just doing the research that you did and getting to this point in your life where you felt like you really wanted to make this transition, what was kind of the point, like your breaking point where you were like, you know what, I got to do this right now. I got to start this line. Like, when did that happen for you?
Okay, so that's a great question. I think that it really, for me, was like looking at like the people that I loved and seeing how they thought that, or they think, well, I think their thoughts are changing now that I have, beaten it in their head what they're
Right.
doing that wasn't right. But I think that a lot of my family and friends I seen really thinking that they were doing the best things for themselves, buying like the most expensive product on the
Mhm.
market, or just buying the product that they see on TV or their latest celebrity wearing without looking into the products themselves or knowing these ingredients and what you're really putting in your body. So like when I learned of how some of my most cherished products were so toxic to my health, and I made those changes and I seen what it did for me, that I just wanted to help people. I just wanted people to know that like they're God provided everything that we need to live our best selves on this earth. We do not need to do products in a lab where they're making chemicals to mimic natural things that grow from the earth, because that's basically what they're doing, with these mainstream ingredients. Like I know my sister Tatiana, she has really bad asthma and she dealt with eczema forever. And growing up, like it was always like use Dove or use Aveeno, and they really thought they were doing the best things. And that those products are expensive. They're not cheap. And when I found out that most of those products are filled with fillers and chemical that just do the opposite of what they were saying, like I felt like it was my mission. I feel like when you learn something and you know something that benefits you, it's your duty to share it with the world. So it's like I
Yes.
came into my life mission. Yeah, for sure. For
I
sure.
love that.
So yeah. So, and I just thought with this skincare line, it's not that deep. Like, everyone washes, let's hope, everyone washes their face and they want toner and daily moisturizer. So I'm like, before I jump in with these tinctures and these herbs and these tea that are definitely coming, because I am a doctor, I heal people. That's what I do. Like this is just my way in, like you said, sometimes you don't want to jump all the way in and get so deep where people's like, whoa, 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 So I figured like me doing a skincare line first will get me into my my patients, the people that I'm healing in their homes. So like I'm already trusted with them. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build trust with, you know, the people that are going to buy my products. I want you guys to believe in me, as well as I want to give you guys knowledge where you will know how to do this on your own. So if there's ever a time that you're not able to get my skincare products or get my tinctures, you will have enough knowledge, self-knowledge, to know how to go to the herb store and get these certain herbs that aren't going to contradict, and you take them and you teach your children. Because like that's how I feel. I feel like our parents really thought they were doing the right thing by giving us Tylenol and giving us Benadryl and taking us to the doctor and putting us on antibiotics when we were sick, because they didn't know any better. But it's time for us now, since we do know better, you know, like we are waking up and people are taking control of their health and starting to really think for themselves again. I think it's time. So yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I did want to say, like, first off, if whoever doesn't know, me and Ambrosia, we are cousins, and we've been close for a very long time, and we're in two different places in our lives, but it's so interesting that we're actually doing the same exact thing, just on different spectrums. So we both have skincare lines, and we're both healing, from she's healing more from within than I am, because she's doing things that actually you can ingest. I'm not, anything that I'm putting out there obviously is not for you to just go ahead and spoonful it into your mouth. But the key here is that um, taking time to educate yourself on the right way of doing things and get into the root of the problem. And none of this is reinventing the wheel. Again, like, these are things that are out there. All you have to do is read. All you have to do is read, or even care enough to want to know what you're putting in your body and what you're putting in your body. And your skincare line, anyone that you would pick up, I would pray to God that you look at it as food for your skin. The same way you would pick up food for your body, for your nutrition. Skincare lines should be food for your skin, literally, because at the end of the day, what your skin, your all that's your biggest organ. Like, you have to protect that at all costs. And if you're sitting here just throwing anything on it, you can imagine what that's doing to your insides, and it's breaking down faster than you can imagine. So I'm so excited to see the final launch of this product. I'm so
Yes.
excited.
I'm really excited too. I am really excited. I feel like, you know, through this experience, we have to trust ourselves in our own process. Like, I think that, especially, I think about when Chynel, you were in Atlanta, and you were going to hair school, and I had already, like, I feel like I've been on this journey for so long, this herbalist journey and just holistic health for so long. And it's just crazy, the synchronicity, how it all comes together, and how these players in your life, you'll family or friend, you'll meet people and you won't really understand why, but you'll know that there's a connection. Like, wow, yeah, this person, they're on the same length, the wavelength. So like when you're able to bring it together, I'm sorry, Venus, when you're able to bring it together and just come together and do something even bigger, I think that there's just such a big blessing in that, like I get excited when my family and friends call me and they're like Ambrosia, I'm having like really bad coughs right now, like what can I do? And I'm able to say, send me your address. Liquid rice, that herb, it's gonna heal it's a tonic herb. It's gonna heal your throat. It's gonna bring up any phlegm you have. This is something you should take every day. You know what I'm saying? And you can just boil hot water and this is better than Robitussin. This is better than NyQuil. This is better than Halls. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think that's amazing.
Yes, hold on. So so you're dropping a lot of really good gems right
Gems,
Yeah.
and
gems.
it's so
If I had a
crazy.
filter just to drop gems on this thing,
Right. And you better find it. Better find it. No, it's
Period.
crazy because I actually was just having this conversation with myself and with my family yesterday. There's a couple of things I want to talk about that you had mentioned. The first one, what works for each person, like you had just mentioned, like people not paying attention to like what's in the ingredients of the stuff that they're using. I can definitely say that I am guilty of that. I think me and my family in general, we don't really use a lot of like major products or anything. We've never been big on really buying like too many crazy expensive things. I think that I do have some family members and some friends that will purchase $150 face cream and
Yeah.
and that nature, and I'm kind of just like, okay, like, are you seeing results? Like, is it worth the money? Like, what's up? Because we have a lot of, especially now, we have a lot of DIY situations going on where you can make your own creams and your own, face masks or whatever, and it's such a healthier alternative. Um, I was actually in the shower today. I had bought uh, makeup wipes, and it was grapefruit flavored. And I had thought to myself, I was like, you know what? This is either gonna benefit me or it's not going to. I don't wear a lot of
Yeah.
makeup, you know what I mean? But I don't wear a lot of makeup. But like when I have like mascara on or something, like I just wanted to make sure it's all off. So I'm like, I should really get the regular, but the grapefruit, that sounds like it might really do something for my skin. No, I immediately started breaking out. My mom saw me and flipped. She was just like, what's wrong with your face? Like you're kind of breaking out a little. And I'm like, damn, all
And
right.
you
You know
have
what? I knew it.
beautiful skin. Like
Thank
Brenda, your
you.
skin is really beautiful.
Thank you.
One thing you can do to just cut all that shit to a minimum. If you get a product, a face product, I don't care, food, I don't care what you're eating, and you turn those ingredients around, right? And you look at the first three ingredients. If you cannot pronounce it, leave that shit alone. I'm dead.
Right.
That's just, that is just something, I need to
Yeah.
know. Like, I need to understand. A lot of the times, like with herbs, they will give you like the scientific name, so that might throw you off a little bit. But
Sure.
you normally will have the herb name in parentheses, so you'll see if it's a herb. But if it's like doxy, blah da 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 da, yo, put that shit back. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Put
Well,
it
what's
down.
crazy is like I didn't even look. I didn't even look. Like I saw it, and I was just like, okay, this might be a nice little switch up. Whatever. I just really wanted to get some really quick while I was at the store. So anyway, so I felt like it was an immediate reaction, kind of. And then even in the shower, like I was looking at like the Dove, like you had mentioned Dove soap, and no shade to Dove. But it was like
Shade. We're shading y'all, okay? You're not even a soap. You're a beauty bar. That's
a beauty
very
bar.
misleading, Dove. You've been misleading people for a long time. I'm calling you out. My name's nice.
But for the sake of legality, look, no shade, but
no shade.
look, no shade, but no,
Look,
but
no,
I
yeah,
was
no
really looking in my
shade.
shower and I was just like, wow, I have this product. And I don't even want to use it on my face. Like I'm scared. You know what I mean? Like I literally looked at it and was like, I need to throw this
That's
away. I'm scared to
real.
use it on my own face.
Well,
Like, yeah,
I
That's
wanted to say,
real.
I wanted to say, like, when you start using natural products, like for me and for I'm sure for Roja, like it's a whole different world because
right.
what we were talking about earlier is like consistency, right? And while you're formulating your product, you're looking for a certain consistency in it because you're used to a certain consistency, right? So when I'm formulating my shampoo, I'm looking for that certain like squeeze and then like that certain
Yeah,
like no, you're not gonna get that. You're not gonna get that because
right.
a lot of the things that your product is missing is preservative,
Yeah.
usually. And there are better preservatives for natural ingredients, right? There's a whole laundry list of them, but you got to pick and choose which one is going to work for you. Number one, holistically, right, for your
Yeah.
product line, and two,
Right.
um, for your pockets because they're not cheap either. So, like for me, my shampoo is runny. Like, and at first I was like, this is not. I can't do nothing with this. Like, it's runny. I feel like it's slick water. Like literally slick water. Like, but then I realized I go through my cabinet because I'm living a holistic, a plant-based diet or whatever, and I have organic peanut butter, right? This is just a good example for people who have organic peanut butter in your closet.
Oh, this
And
is how you know you're self-learning when you start going in your cabinet and pulling out natural
organic stuff.
stuff and seeing how it
Yeah.
will work. Girl, that's amazing. I almost got my phone. Hold on. I got a little too excited.
She was hype, everybody. She's
I'm
feeling it.
sorry.
That passion is
Right.
real.
I'm sorry. That's exciting for me. Okay, knowing my cousin
Look,
is doing this is leaps and bounds that we have jumped. Okay.
look, so I go, wait, get it together. I go into my cabinet, I pull out my organic stuff, and I'm like, man, it's all different. It's all different. My peanut butter is runny as hell, right? It's
Yes,
nothing like
yes,
it's nothing like Jiffy, right? And I have both
nothing.
in the cabinet. Let's be clear. I have a whole family. So I switched over. They're not there yet, and I'm fine with that. It's okay. But
Yeah.
my children will not know. Zoe don't know when I'm giving her organic and I'm giving her Jiffy, but Kaden does. And it's I don't want to force them, you know what I mean? That's neither here nor there. Moving on. My peanut butter is runny, right? But it's organic. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna
Right,
go with that. You know what I mean? It's not my conditioner. I was able to get my conditioner the same exact consistency with what I needed, what I had, and it's completely organic. But as far as my shampoo, and you gotta see like the best products you're gonna make down the line. Like, is there things out there naturally that you're gonna be able to incorporate to get that product that people are so because that's the problem. You might not like this stuff. This is too watery. But at the end of the day, it's in your scalp, it's soothing your skin, it's soothing your scalp, and it's not ripping your hair out. You know what I mean? It's not, there's no sulfate. It's just all these different things. Like, again,
So
you
with that though,
cannot pronounce your ingredients, you should not buy it. Period.
yes, yes, and the
That's
same
that's fact.
way
That's facts.
the same way that anything that you start doing doesn't feel natural at first. Whenever you're breaking a habit and starting a new one, it's never it's so easy to backtrack and go back to what we're used to. But like with anything worth doing, it takes consistency and change. Like it's not going to feel natural for you at first because it's not natural. You've been using
right,
unnatural things for so long. So like the key is to stick with it. And when you are making products at home, you don't have to look for preservatives because it's really like on you're
So
using
you're
it and making it as
right.
you need it.
you're not trying
Okay.
to preserve
So
it. You want to use it.
you want to use it, so
Right,
like you don't even have to get look into things like that. You just if you're doing self-knowledge and you're finding things to clean your hair, yes, it might not feel the way you like you said, cousin of Chynel, like it might not feel like your what is a good one, your
your
suave.
your Joyco, your Tresemme, your Pantene. It's not gonna
Yeah,
it's
but
your
you don't
hair.
want that. You don't want it to. Honestly,
Right.
have a real conversation with yourself because you are switching over because you're awakening to knowing that these products that you have been using that feel natural are
right,
unnatural. So you should be looking for something that doesn't feel the way these products were feeling because they weren't doing the right things for your
right,
body, your
Right.
hair, for yourself altogether.
Right.
Yeah.
right. And I just feel, and like it was just a perfect example. And like, mind you, like I've been taking like conscious efforts as well, like just transitioning. I started buying like more vegan based products and stuff like that. Like, just kind of switching a lot of things in my diet and everything like that. And again, I don't really put a lot on my face, so it was very interesting that I even purchased the product. And then immediately it kind of, and I knew it. I just literally looked at it and was like, I just feel like I shouldn't do it, but I'm gonna do it for whatever reason because it had grapefruit in it. And it's like, okay, you know what I mean? But then you got to really think about it is that these companies, it's not real grapefruit. I might as well have taken a grapefruit and put that joint on my face and cleaned off my face like that.
You
You know what I
know?
mean? Like,
You know? Exactly.
right, like,
Exactly.
right. So once I
Exactly.
realized that it was just really crazy. We had like a good talk and I was just, my mom is very big. She works in, the hair industry as well. So she's very big on beauty and, face and all of that stuff too. So she, like I said, she immediately noticed and was like, What is it? What do you think it is? You know what I mean? So we had those conversations, and it's great that you can have those conversations that people with certain people. But even aside from that, just paying attention. You know what I mean? You have mentioned like just paying attention, like you said, to what you're putting in. Your comment about runny peanut butter. I've been using vegan, like vegetarian or vegan peanut butter, like natural peanut butter, for so long that I'm so used to the runny that when I see something else now, I'm kind of just like, oh,
Why is that shit sticking
oh,
together like
got
that?
the oil at the top, ain't runny at the top. Like,
Right,
you know,
right.
Exactly.
You get used to your all natural products. You get used to the separation, right? You get used to
right,
seeing oil. You get used to seeing ingredients not emulsifying properly until you shake them.
right,
That is so necessary, right? That is so necessary for us to get used to seeing these things. Usually when we see it, we're like, "Ooh, this is nasty. This is wrong." No doubt. No,
right,
that's what happens when you mix oil water. Tart. That's
right.
what it does. You got to shake it up before you use it. Right?
Yeah,
Just like if you buy cold pressed juice in the store, you have to shake it before you drink it.
right,
Period. You know what I mean? Like these are just the things, and because I completely switched over, it makes sense to me.
right.
The only thing I haven't tackled yet is herbs, which is why it was so important for me to have my cousin on, because herbs are the last part of real healing from within health, like health and wealth. That is it. The herbs are the key, are the key to tie everything in and bring everything together into one. So um, we did herbs. We have so much to cover. I don't want to get too far off the topic, but a lot of what you do comes in at astrology, and I'm not really big on astrology, but I understand it to an extent, but I don't live by it. So just a quick synapse of what astrology means to you, how you tied it into your line.
Yeah.
I have purchased another person's line who is tied into astrology as well. She's a Ayurvedic. Um, I don't even know the
That's
word.
amazing. That's the word.
Yeah, and
She's telling you about your dosha and
yeah,
all that
yeah.
good stuff.
So super dope. This is one of the face serums that I use every morning along with my butter, and that's my face regimen right now. But you know, tell us a little bit about that and what it means, because people really don't
Okay.
understand. You might not even f with it, but it's important to throw it out there to get people who
Okay, so first, I feel like I know. Okay, astrology is the only true science. Like it's the only true science. Every great book, down to the Bible, is based off of astrology. Okay. Now all of this I this is the way that I live my life in understanding. So yes, I have brought it into my herbal line and my holistic way of living. So my birthday is June 22nd. So I am on the cusp of a Cancer and a Gemini. So I'm going to just use me for an example to give you how I brought it into my skincare line. Okay. So you're in your womb. I'm in my mom's womb. I was in my mom's womb for 10 months, right? So that's the gestation period where your embryo and you're growing and you're developed and you're getting all the nutrition that you need, right? But it's supposed to be a whole year. But we're not in our mother's womb for a whole year. We come out at 10 months. So there is nutrition that we're missing, okay? So with me being a Cancer, I started getting into minerals and cell salts, right? So this tells you about your cell salts deficiencies, right? We're all lacking cell salts deficiency, and any disease or virus can come down to these cell salts, right? So when I started learning about astrology and then the minerals and the cell salts, okay, so think about when you go and dies and they get cremated, right? And the ashes that people will keep forever, right? So those are the inorganic cell salts. Those are the cell salts that are in your body. So they're as important as the blood and everything that's in your body. So these cell salts, they make up you, and if you're deficient in any of them, they're going to cause ailments, right? So So this book, if I'm going to recommend you guys something, I would recommend you guys get this book if you do want to learn about cell salts, because since I have started getting into cell salts and reading this Dr. Schweisler's book, I can look at a person like, I'm not going to say right away, but like, especially if they're really deficient, I can look at a person and tell you what sign you are and the cell salt that you're deficient in. So the cell salt that one of the cell salts that I'm deficient in is calcium fluoride. Okay, so it's number one. Okay, so it's a line of 12 different mineral salts. Okay, so I take number one, Dr. Spiceler's mineral cell salts every day to work with my imbalance. So with my imbalance, okay, something that I noticed about me from a little kid is that I get stretch marks. Like I have always got stretch marks. I've never been fat, but like if my body stretches, like I had big calf muscles and like my titties, they were big. So like I would get stretch marks and I was like, dang, man, that's just genetics. Like this is just something that is genetic. There's nothing you could do about it. Like it's just something that like I don't do well. But when I start reading about my cell salt, and calcium fluoride. So what that is that's the lime salt in that helps build your bones and stuff up, right? So it causes, when you're deficient in the cell salt, which I am in my natal, I'm deficient in the cell salt. So it causes sagging, not only in your skin. So like you'll notice if you meet someone who is like a Cancer or even a Leo or something, but like definitely a Cancer or a Gemini, and they have had a baby, or if they're fat, you'll notice that they are sagging. They might have sagging in their stomach, their skin just might be sagging, just their breasts might be sagging. Things just sag more. You know that they're deficient in the cell salt, right? So when I started reading about it, it was everything that like I was deficient in, and I started taking them and I started doing better with this. So like being deficient in calcium fluoride, it also, from your cerebrum, your bottom brain and your top brain, there are nerves that if you're lacking this cell salt, it makes them not be strong, right? So it gives you, emotionally wise, it gives you a feeling of lacking, like security purpose. Like you always feel like doom is around the corner. Even if you're making $500,000, you always are worried about that. And I feel like that has always been something that like I just always worried about. I have always been able to come into money and hustle and work and get money, but I have always been worried about it. Now I've been on this cell salt for a year, and my outlook on life, even when I go through a problem, has really changed. Okay. And I think that it goes into this cell salt and lacking, and I know that like I'm not deficient in it anymore, and this is helping with other things. But I just feel like knowing the cell salts that you're deficient in and making sure you're at least taking one of the three is beneficial for your health. Like there's no reason everyone should not have the mineral that they're lacking and deficient in and be taking it on a regular basis. So this is something that I also offer people, like all of my closest friends and family. Chynel, your little care package, you have your mineral cell salts. And once you start taking them, you can't overdose on them. You can't overdose on them. You really shouldn't put them in your hand. You should put them right directly under your mouth. I take 30, a day, at least 30 a day. If I'm feeling like, if I find myself being in a stressful situation and I feel myself like worrying that doom is going to happen, I'll pop my cell salts, and
Right.
it gives me that
Right.
sense, like everything's gonna be okay, So this is also something that minerals is something that I'm also incorporating into my line. Like, so just know that
So
herbs, 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 you will get these, because it's something that my relationship with herbs in the body is so deep. It's everything that I do. It's my conversation. It's my passion. It's I can incorporate it in everything. You cooking dinner today? Oh, make sure you use these
Right.
herbs. Oh, you're feeling sick? Oh, you need to get these herbs
Right.
because it's really God's gift to us. Okay. So yeah. So cell salts and minerals are very important. And if any of our listeners out there, because I know that we're just lightly touching on everything, but if there's anyone who's out there who really has more questions about these things, or just different medical herbs to take if you're feeling sick. I know about this coronavirus, we're all so freaking scared. I know I'm like driving down the street and I look to my right and I look to my left, and they have on their face masks and their gloves in the car with the windows up. I'm just like, yo, you know what I'm saying? And no shade to the people wearing as Rana said,
Right.
to the people wearing their gloves and their face masks, but it gets so much deeper than that. We have a strong immune system that our creator gave us to fight off any disease, any virus that goes around. So instead of just being scared, like I said, and look into these outsourced things, I think the one thing that you need to listen to and make sure that anyone is saying who you are taking advice from and that you're listening to, if they're not talking about showing you how to build your immune system up to fight off any disease, fight off any virus, and they're just suggesting gloves and hand masks or anything outside of yourself, throw that person in the trash. Don't listen to them because it's not helping you. If anyone is telling you to stay in the house and only get so-and-so sunlight, vitamin D, throw that person in the trash. Don't listen to them because the sun gives life. Period. I mean, flowers and
Right.
trees show us that every day. Okay, so like, and washing your hands every day with zest. Hold on, cuz with zest and Dove, you're wearing down that
Yes.
immune system. A little dirt never hurt. Okay, a little dirt don't hurt. Let yourself, just say.
No, wait, but I really do want to say, hold on, Chynel, before you go in, hold on. I really do want to say the sunlight part, I really felt, because I feel very strongly about that. I've been trying to be outside and hiking and doing natural
So
things
important.
as much as possible because the sun really is a healer in itself. And I don't think, regardless of your belief, I think that's just case in point.
I
So
mean, shit. Yes.
I,
I mean, sometimes you just have to
I
ask
agree.
yourself, does this make sense? Okay? Does what they're telling me I need to do, does it make sense? Because if they're hurting us into Walmart and all of these other places where I mean, I never go into Walmart. I try to avoid that place at all costs, but I mean, they be in there like sardines. People are caught. You're going to have human contact. So like of you have to be careful, first of all, of how much traumatic energy that you're letting yourself take in on a daily basis. Because just even that emotionally and mentally, you're breaking you're breaking yourself down, okay? And like
for sure.
family love and family support and seeing friends and stuff, that's health, and that helps with your health. Have you ever been feeling so down and so sick and you just got with someone that you really love, right? And they just fed your soul and made you some tea with some good herbs and shit, you're better. You feel better. You feel like you could take on the world. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You just have to be careful. Don't anybody, just know we are stronger when we come together. So any entity, anything that's trying to separate us and cause division, you have to be very leery of that, okay? Not to get political because I don't even play that shit. I stand with God myself. But I think that I think that I believe and I know in my heart and a lot of people, it'd be hard for people to really hear me, but I just be wanting people to be open. But anytime there's a person or a group or a thing that's trying to come and try to tell you what to do, when you can leave your house, what store, what's essential and what's not essential, you run from that shit. You stand against it. I don't care how much charisma they have. I don't care what's the political party. You want your rights. You want to be able to tell yourself if you are able to have a gun and what type of gun you're able to have. I don't care. If they are trying to take that away from you, you run to the other side. So let's just try to keep our power and be self-knowledgeable, take our minerals, take our herbs, use Ambrosia skincare line because I got y'all's back. Okay?
Yes.
And
And there it
smoke a
is.
little bit of weed.
And there it is. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. So,
No, seriously though. Look, I just wanted to say something real quick. This has really been weighing like really heavy on me since like yesterday or the day before
Okay.
yesterday, right? So this is about to go so left. Y'all don't even understand.
Let go.
So look, so Ronai, because I don't know if you know where I stand as far as like believing in God and religion and all that, but like I'm pretty neutral. I'm very universal. I'm just like the universe. Whatever's happening is all universal. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. There's a higher power, of course, but I'm not calling it anything but a higher power, right? So I'm out in the backyard, right? Reggie decides to start on my backyard for me. He's gutting it, he's cleaning everything, I'm watering everything down. I'm starting to see nature at its finest, at its raw. You know what I'm saying? Before the grass grows, we're planting grass, all this stuff, right? Potting plants. We're doing the most.
So beautiful.
Look,
Wow.
right? So I'm trying to get in touch with this because this is the life I want to live. I'm like, I was talking to my cousin yesterday, like, none of our family has a green thumb but her. She's the only one. How is this even possible? There's nobody I can go to be like, how do I do this? I'm on YouTube scrolling the whole time. You know what I mean? But anyway, so I'm sitting here, I'm watering the ground, right? Because we're about to put down. All these earthworms start coming out the ground, right? Like I'm scared of worms. So immediately I'm like, well,
I'm done.
but I have to do this. You know what I mean? Like, so then after I water, all the worms come up, I sit down and I go straight to my phone and I Google, why do earthworms come out of the ground when a whole bunch of water gets down in there, right? And
Go
it
ahead.
says, they say, basically like you're flooding their home. Like they have to come up, they have to breathe. You're flooding their home. And then immediately I'm thinking like, oh, that's terrible. Like I'm killing somebody. At some point, I'm
Right.
hurting these earthworms, right? Even though I care nothing for them. But like I was thinking like, when we have natural disasters and we get flooded or these things happen, like if somebody's standing over us, watering our earth, you know what I mean? Like it was just weird. It was crazy
Yeah, she
like
she she's not religious, but Chynel has been one of the most spiritual people that I
yeah.
have that I have ever came across from a very young girl. So like even you thinking about the earthworms, you know what I'm saying? It shows where your
Right.
heart is, cousin, and that is so
Right.
freaking beautiful.
But think that, of course, I'm watering this ground to create a better home for them. Ultimately,
Yeah.
I'm growing
Period.
you like the best grass right now. I spent a whole lot of money on the feed. You know, like I cut down limbs
They
trees so
don't
that the
mind. They don't mind coming up. They don't want to scare you. They're coming up so they don't die and drown, but they
they're trying to see
know
what's
that
up.
their
Trying
food,
to see
they're
what's up.
they're knowing
but the
food's getting ready to come up. They don't mind coming out for a little bit. It's
right.
called
Right.
the circle of
I was
life.
I was scared. I was scared. But then I'm thinking, when we have natural disasters and it wipes us out, right? Tsunami, wipe us out.
Shit.
Tornado, all this, wipe us out. But then what comes out of that? You know what I'm saying? We always come back even stronger, 10 times better. We
Period.
Right.
survive. Just that's how I kind of look at life. It's kind of like really moment for me to sit there and be like, wow, like this is the circle of life. This is what this is. And if you understand it, You know what I mean? Just really in touch with it. It was a moment in time I was like, I'm probably the only one in the world right now who's thinking this, but it's going to
But you're
change
not.
touch. It's going to change so many people's thought process when you have that moment too. You know what I mean? Like
Yes, those aha moments.
that, it was
Right.
just like, whoa. Like, I'm being
So
very mindful of not
amazing.
stepping on the worms. I'm moving around them, like
Amazing.
doing a whole lot of different things.
Come
I'm up in
on.
the middle of the night making bird houses, and I'm just figuring out different crafts to like treat different things, like treat different animals and different insects and things. Like we look at everything like, oh, gotta kill it, gotta buzz it, gotta spray it. You know, like that's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because at the
You
end of the
you
day,
know what's really important? If we break things down to their minute form, where it's all just energy, where we all know that we're just energy, right? Everything is energy, from this to this mango to you, okay, to the stars above, okay, we're just energy. So that's why, like, when you really understand the elements and that we are just energy, you understand how much we are alike. Like all this differences that they're trying to cause is so minute and so little. So it'll take this lighter or this phone that we use, that we just throw around when we don't want to use it. Like, do you ever notice? I know this is going left, but do you ever notice how we're so dependent on a phone, right? Like we're so dependent. It does everything we need. We're on this call because of this phone and this technology, but like people talk so much shit on it. Like it does all this shit for us, and then we'll be like, goddamn internet, goddamn phone, goddamn AI. But like, just think how that phone feels, okay? If it's energy, if we're just all energy and it's a vibration, right? How do you think they talk about, oh shit, AI, they're going to take over and they're going to kill off the human race? And like, so now we need to build bigger machines, or we need to do this just in case. But yo, why not look at yourself and how you treat things? This is something that I had to check myself with, because, bro, I use my phone for everything. Shit, if that shit goes dead, bro, I'm parking my car and waiting until it turns back on, because 99% of the time I can't get to where I'm going without it. So like, it made
Right.
me change the way I look at everything, from the cup that holds my tea every day
right,
to everything. You have to treat everything with love. We're not above anything, especially when you take it down to your smallest form. We're energy. Yes, we're vibrating at different frequencies, okay, depending on where we are in our lives. But like, I think it's our job to just understand that we're not better than anyone, and to treat everything with love, including ourselves. You know, you can know where a person is in their life by the way that they treat themselves, the way that they treat their body. If you really listen to a person, you will know where they're at. Listen, people say to me sometimes, they're like, yo, Ambrosia, where you were 4 years ago, that's crazy, because I was back in Pennsylvania. I was like working like two different bartending jobs. I was working all the time. And they're like, you were in such a, I was staying with my little sister, and Shaquelle has stayed with me too. But honestly, to the world, it looked like shit. I was going through it, but it was a beautiful time into my life.
Yeah.
In my life, I
Yeah.
harnessed some of my greatest lessons back in Pennsylvania with what the world will look like was struggling. But like, I was learning and loving. So like, I feel like as long as we are harnessing that and loving everything, even if the world doesn't see it that way, and you know you're doing it for yourself, bro, we winning.
right.
Yeah.
We winning.
That's 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I was, we were talking about goals last week, and we were talking about like just progression and things like that, and what we were getting into during this time of quarantine. And one of the things that I was able to dive back into, and it's taken me years, was music. A long time where I wasn't able to pick up my viola, and I wasn't able to play, and I wasn't able to do certain things. And I had so many, not necessarily excuses, but I just didn't have the drive to do it. But it took for my mom to tell me that she was having issues sleeping at night. She was up all like days at a time, right? Like, could you imagine being up days at a time, like
I
not?
got herbs for that. We got to make sure we get her some herbs for that. Okay, no, for real.
Yes.
But I feel you. Yeah.
Yes. But
Yes.
it was on. I was just thinking like, wow, like there's nothing I can't send her a product to just make her feel better, right? I don't have it. Rosa does. I don't.
Right. Right. But
But it
sometimes
was
it's
like
emotionally.
other way.
Music will put your ass to sleep.
There you go. I was like, what other way can I help her, right? So then I'm thinking, I order my chin rest, my shoulder rest. I ordered my rosin for my viola. I ordered everything I needed to play again, right? It's all coming in the mail. I get it. I'm sitting down, I'm playing, and immediately I get tired. And that's what used to happen all the time. Every time I would practice, I would get tired. I would literally practice and go to sleep, like in the middle of the day, right? And that is because music has always taken me to such a low. Like it's like smoking, it's like getting high, like actually high probably. Where
Wow.
the
Yes, it is.
vibration, the vibration from the instrument, which is sitting on my shoulder and close to my heart, it slows everything down for you. So when you're done playing, you're tired as hell. And
Oh
that's what
my.
happened to me. So when I graduated high school, they were like, "What are you going to school for?" I said, "Musical therapy." I go to RAC. RAC tells me there's not anything that they basically don't think that I'm gonna really be able to make a career out of musical therapy. So I went for psychology or whatever, just to kind of stay in that frame, just in case I wanted to do some type of therapy, you know. But I text my mom and I'm like, "Mom, have you tried listening to classical music?" She's going to sleep.
Oh,
And pause. Tagging.
somebody's
It was
calling.
good.
Somebody's calling. I know what's good. Good. All right, welcome back.
Wait,
Hey girl. Hey girl. But go ahead. You
right
asked me,
now.
did she try classical music?
Huh?
Okay, I'm waiting for. Okay, okay. So I'm like, Mom, have you tried classical music? Because people always said to me like, why don't you play hip hop? Why don't you play R&B? Like, why don't you go over and switch over and do that girl doing and all that? And I'm like, that is not my passion. That is
Right.
not what would move me. I don't want to play the same note. You know what I'm saying? For
Right.
12 minutes. I just don't want to. But you learn dynamics and you learn crescendos and you go from very low to very high. That
Right.
vibration in you, everything that an instrument can do is so crazy. Like I can't explain it, right? I can't explain.
Chynel, I know I have herbalist friends that have cured cancer from musical therapy. You don't
Yes,
understand.
yes.
And you're coming to these conclusions on your own. You are such a
Yes.
powerful being and you don't even understand it. Like
Thank you.
for you to even be able to suggest that to your mom is life changing. Classical music, it raises your
Yes.
vibration. There's certain
Yes.
hertz music. That's music. Those are musical notes and sound that will rise your vibration. Seriously. Yeah.
But like you said, cousin, like and classical music, honestly, people think like classical, they think like one song where they can think of as
Yeah.
classical. Classical music
No.
is so it's so big, it's so broad. You have to find a classical musician. The same way you have a rapper that you like, you have a
Period.
classical that you like, right? J.S. Bach, you have Chopin, you have so many people who have different types of music, and it's still under the classical, name. But one thing that you have to realize is there's a lot of emotions inside of that. There's a lot of innuendos and there's a lot of different things that happen in music that you feel, right? And the music cries. So I tell my mom all the time, like, I don't want to hear you cry. I don't want to come home to you and cry, right? I don't want to.
Right.
I don't want to cry my damn self, but I have my moments. But it comes honestly when I hear a song that reminds me of my brother, right? Well, it could be a reggae song. It's in my body, right? I'm ready. I'm dancing. But I also remember my brother singing that song, like, and it's just so crazy because it's a reggae song. Like, he don't really care for reggae. He grew up that had nothing but reggae playing. You know what I mean? So like,
Right.
it could be that, or if I hear a song.
But yeah, go
Okay,
ahead.
so like in a movie, if I'm listening to a really good movie, you know the soundtracks for movies, any of them that have an orchestra background,
Yes.
you're in it. Like you're in it. You're drawn
No,
in.
that's for real. That's for
In.
real.
It takes me
And yo,
to.
I can only cry. I'm like you, Chynel. I have a hard time crying. Like, I'm like, damn, yo, this is traumatic. Tears need to come now. But if I listen, especially to some jazz, some classical
Yeah.
music, I can tap into that
Yes.
emotion. A good movie, I can tap into that emotion. Let that orchestra start playing, bro.
And people don't realize that you think you're crying because of the acting that's going on. No,
No. It's you.
because
It's the
the
emotion.
background.
Yes.
If you were
Yes.
listening at something with no sound, you're not gonna cry like that. I'm sorry, bro.
Period. Period.
But again,
Right.
this is the
Wow.
energy, right? It's the energy. This is stuff we got to get in touch with. So, like, the most natural form of healing comes from these things like
Yeah.
holistic care, herbs, music, people, music. You know that.
God, yo, Chynel, you listen to me. That is major with a
Yeah.
capital M. You understand? Like, so I want Bella, I really wanted to ask you your opinion on this because I wanted her and Amar, I wanted them to learn how to play the piano. But Bella really wants to learn how to play the harp, right? Like the harp. She really wants to play the harp.
I would be traveling to Atlanta every concert. The heart,
Yeah.
that can make me cry. The heart,
So yeah, that's what she wants to get into. And I was just like, yo, because in my mind, I have always seen, when I get married or any major event, because I don't know if marriage is coming, but shit, I don't give a damn. Any major party, Chynel's gonna come in, because I know it is so powerful. And
Yeah.
cousin, you wow me. You really freaking wow me, bro. Like, I be like,
just used to take me to practice Saturday mornings. We would
oh,
be
you
out
know
Friday,
it.
wake up and take me to orchestral practice. And why was I going to these practices? Like, it's like,
Chynel, you are you're the epitome of a god darn hustler. You're
honestly,
inspirational. You're inspiring.
I'm so at a happy place where, like, I don't know how you're able to, you know, deal with the things that you deal with and still be okay in a sense, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like this is my balance, right? I finally found like my balance. I was missing music for a long time, And when I picked up my instrument the other day, because when I moved from Atlanta, my instrument was taken from my feet. I never even had an instrument when I moved to Virginia. When I met my husband, he bought my instrument for my graduation. We're just all like popping out, like.
Shoot, I don't know. I'm so sorry. I keep getting these phone calls and I'm just like, do not disturb, bro. I'm on my podcast, the most important podcast in the world going on right now. We are
Hey, look.
freaking breaking barriers and informing people.
Right.
You gotta wait. You gotta wait.
Right.
So, like I said, I moved here, didn't have an instrument. He bought me an instrument. It was very emotional, but I hadn't touched it till now. We've been married. We've been together almost 5 years. Literally, haven't touched this instrument, haven't opened it up, nothing until now. We've done talking, but like, I don't know what your guys' thought process is on music. But if you have not incorporated music into your everyday at some point, I'm not talking about like your R&B, your rap or anything. I'm talking about
Yeah.
true classical, true instrumental. Please, if you need some type of place to go, music can take you there. Music can literally take you anywhere you want to go. You have to
Period.
have to tap into it, and you have to focus. Period. That's
You know what? I think that like we definitely were really broad today, right? Like, we're really broad, but I think that like music, herbs, minerals, and like just our mind frame is so important, especially with like what's going on in the world. So like we have to, and I encourage anyone who even has slightly an interest, because no, you're not going to know everything. Like, I had to really be okay with not knowing, and not knowing is really a beautiful place because you're open. You're open to anything. You're not closed off. You haven't limited yourself because you don't know. But if you guys do have any questions, please feel free. Please eat from any of us. Reach out to us, and I really hope this is like the start of something that we could do more often, because I would love to give you guys astrology reading. I think that that's so important. With just knowing thyself and really coming into who you are, and I want to talk more about that.
Another thing, real quick, before you go, Renee. People who think they know don't know. Please understand, what you think you don't know.
No,
Because
yes,
there's so many things of what we know. There's so many viewpoints of what we don't know. Don't.
yeah,
Which is why being optimistic is a great trait, because you're always receiving what somebody else, you know what I'm saying? You are always able to think it up in your own type of way and put it together, whatever. But like, what you think you don't know. So open up a
And
little bit.
stay open. Like you said,
yeah,
you don't have to agree. You could disagree, but if you tell yourself that you're remaining open, because growth only comes with change. You cannot grow if you do not change. So you have to
yeah.
remain open. That is key.
Right. Go ahead, Ronnie.
Yes, and I just wanted to add, music is, to me, one quote that always stuck with me is like, where politics and religion fail, music always prevails. And that's always been
Yes.
something for me. I
Hey,
always think about that.
true, Jay.
Because
You know, gems dropping.
right. Listen, because seriously, I'm such a music person. I was raised in a household where literally in every room somebody was listening to something different. My grandparents were listening to oldies and Motown. My uncle was listening to Jamaican music. My aunt was listening to anywhere from Elvis Presley to DMX. Like, and then my mom
Yeah.
R&B. Like literally, I honestly and truly think that had such a major thing to do with how I was brought up. Like I will always, if I ever wrote a book, that's exactly what I'm mentioning, because it was having those different outlooks on life, those different perspectives. And at the end of the day, a lot of people were really just saying the same thing. They were just wording it differently, and their beat was different, the rhythm was different. But at the end of the day, we all had this certain struggle that everybody could relate to, and we just said it differently. And it was so much beauty in that.
Anyway.
Um, when it comes to classical music, and I'm not gonna lie, classical music and rock. Like when I'm feeling like life is getting to me, that's it for me. I need to go,
Yes.
you know what I mean? So like right
Yes.
now, I have my classical station on go all the time. Right now I'm really into Ennio Morricone and Yo-Yo Ma. They have a
Wow. Go ahead, girl.
Pull up, write this down. Sarah Chang. Sarah Chang. Her name
Sarah
is
Chang.
Chang.
Okay.
Chang. CHANG.
Yes.
Yep.
Look up Carmen Fantasy.
Carmen.
Everything you guys can feel in a year is in this
Yeah.
song.
Okay.
And that's the thing. What I love about classical music, it could literally be a lifetime in 10 minutes. They'll create a whole piece, and that's what it is. And I love that, because
Because
don't get me wrong, I'm still
right,
with,
it's called movement. It's different.
yes,
That's what they're
yes,
called. So when you hear
yes,
the dynamic change, it's the next movement, and it moves, right? It goes
yes,
from dramatic to somber. There might be a cadence in
yes,
there. It might be
And then
jolly.
there's that climax. They
yes,
always the song always hits that climax. I be listening for that now. I'm like, oh, we're here now. We're here now.
Yes, but I'm sorry
yes.
to cut you, honey, but it's called
No, no,
movement. Seriously, it goes with
but seriously, I mean, and I feel like our conversation in general kind of embodies what all of that means. You know what I mean? Like we're the passion that we feel from the things that we do on a regular basis. Ambrosia, with what you're doing with your herbs and your minerals, like I'm feeling that. You know what I mean? Like you're embodying
Yeah.
whole being, and that's a beautiful thing. And even Chynel, like with everything you do, like you said, you're a hustler. That's it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Come on. She's out there
like
seeding and looking at the worms, man. Renee. This is.
I'm a wordsmith. Look.
Yes.
Nah, but for real, so when you
And
started working
thank
up
you,
in me,
Rodney, for thinking, for you and Chynel even doing a podcast. I didn't even know. I have always heard about you. Since Chynel, we were young and you were her go-to girl. You were she was on the phone. You guys were always, even young, like talking about life and how to improve yourself. So you have always been major in Chynel's life. So even when we weren't close, like you were, what I was going through her, I know she was giving to y'all, and you have
Mhm.
always been amazing. And at Chynel's wedding, when I finally got a chance to spend some time with you, and I think you were getting
Yes,
ready. Where
yes,
you weren't going to Arizona, you were going to where did you move?
Colorado.
Colorado. Colorado. And I was
Yeah.
just like, yo, wow. And everything you had going, I was just like, whoa, she's a major hitter. Like her mind frame is like for
Yeah.
real. Like, and
Thank
I just think that, if we continue what I call a girl gang, but men can be included. I
right.
don't come on, but like this, I think that, like, we're shifters. We're movement. We are going. We are the change that needs to come.
Yes.
And I just think that with us appreciating each other and motivating, me and Chynel will go. I pray for her every day. You understand? I pray for my
Yeah.
cousin every single day, but I can go months without her and I talking on the phone. You know what I'm saying? But like when we
Right.
talk, or when I know where the love is. I know that I have someone in my corner rooting for me if I never talk to her again in life. I know there's someone praying for me. And I think that if we could just keep on expanding on that vibe, those frequencies,
Yeah.
that to our it we're only going to be better. We're only going
Right.
to reach the
Well,
top.
and another thing is to feel that energy from miles away, right? To feel
Right.
that energy, right? The energy that me and Renee have is bigger than anything, right? Anything that could come in between us, honestly. Our
Period.
energy kind of like rocks that out, right? So like me and you, bros, like you're in Atlanta, I'm here, but like that energy when we talk, it just goes to the next level. Really, nothing can get in the way, and energy is the biggest thing. To speak, to vibrate, your tone, voice, all of that is so necessary. And
And
energy,
it's sound, cousin. Your voice and the way you talk, that sound.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
music.
yeah, and yeah, exactly, exactly, exactly.
Yep.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I don't even know. We're 100. We're an hour, 10 minutes into this, and I don't, we have to probably do this more often. I'm
Come
sorry, guys.
Yes.
on. That's what
I
I'm
have-
saying. It's just
It
this a
might just
vibe you can't get nowhere else. You understand? Listen, I didn't
Yes.
even know. I didn't even know the details of this podcast. Right? All I knew was who was involved with it. You
Right.
understand? And I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get on the show. Look, y'all were talking about business and I felt it, but I was like, okay, I have to figure out a way to be in corporate because I know the vibe. I
Yes.
know what y'all are bringing to the table. And you guys, I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you. And
Thank
you guys will have a million viewers. If that's the goal, like a million, because this is priceless, okay?
yeah,
thank
Priceless. And
thank
anytime you want me in the show, even if I have to come here with my hair messed up, if there's questions and you need to tap me in for y'all, I'll always be available because I know you guys are changing the world, and I mean that.
there we go. We're
thank
changing the world, though. We're all changing the world.
Yes,
We're
we
all,
Period.
are. We are, and that's why we're all here today. Let's be
yeah,
clear. Like that's why we're all here, and I thank you for real, for real. Right, right. I really do think it's been an amazing conversation, and I know we haven't even touched base on the half of it. You know what I mean? I know you have, a abundance of knowledge and information that you want to provide to people, and that's so important. And so, for anybody that is watching, and we know you're watching, just reach out to her via email, DM. We always let you know, like, it's okay. I hope that you feel the vibes, you understand the type of people that we are, and you feel comfortable reaching out for whatever, even if it's just a question, even if it's
yeah.
you don't agree with something, let us know. Like, that's what we're here for. You know what I mean? To have
Help
these
us,
conversations.
girl.
Yes. And so, Ambrosia, thank you so much for coming
Thank
on.
y'all.
Like,
I love y'all
been
from the bottom of
real.
my
Like,
heart,
it's
for
been a great
real.
conversation.
Yeah.
Have a great day, y'all. Okay, I love you so
Yes.
much, and I can't wait to be back on here again. You know, and see where our
Yes.
conversation
Well, listen,
leads.
it's gonna happen. I mean, obviously, once we hang up, we're gonna have to go ahead and just shoot the next one over. Like, listen, I
You
think
already know.
and this is what we're gonna touch on. And everybody, we literally didn't even scratch the surface of what Ambrosia has to offer and her outlook on life. And it's just good to have that dynamic and that third party to be able to come into our conversation and kind of switch things up a little bit. And she does have partners and she has other people that she works with. So I think that having them on as well, broadening
Yes, yes.
to take it to the next level as well. So,
Absolutely.
again, you guys know what it is. We're going to be back next week. This is vlog number 12. I am Chynel with Chapter 28 Beauty.
Ronai with Anomaly Agency. And our special guest.
Ambrosia with Ambrosia Skincare Line.
All right,
Yes.
guys. And again, thank you so much. We will see you guys
Bye.
next week. Ambrosia again
Peace and
shortly.
love. Peace and
Yes.
love.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Bye.